Today we're going to learn about powers of 10. They consist of basically just moving zeros. So here we go. I'm going to break it down for you. If you have, let's say, 3 times 10 to the nth power, if the n here is positive, what's going to happen is the decimal is going to move to the right. So you'd have a 3.0, and that decimal here will move 1, 2, 3, and so on to represent what that n number is. So let's just label that n right there. So let's pretend now we're working with a positive 3. So we're going to do 3 times n to the, 3 times 10 to the positive third power. So you're going to write that out. 3 times 10 to the positive third power. So what would happen is that you'd have that 3.0, and that decimal here would move once, twice, and 3 times. So now we have the decimal here, and then with these extra little gaps here, you're just going to fill them with zeros. So now 3 times 10 to the third power is equal to 3,000. Next, we're going to work with if you have a negative exponent. So we're going to use, we'll use 4 this time, so just a different number. So we're going to do 4 to the times 10 to the power of negative 3 this time. So what happens is you have that 4.0, and you take that decimal, and now since it's a negative power, you're going to move it to the left. 1, 2, 3. Decimal goes here, and you fill the holes with zeros. So now you get the answer of 4 times 10 to the negative third is equal to 0.004, or 4 1,000ths. So just as a simple equation, I'm going to break it down for you again. So I'm going to represent the number in front. So when we first used the number 3, or now use the number 4, I'm going to make the constant, we'll just call it a constant, and we'll just put c. So you can kind of think of it as c times 10 to the n. You just kind of got to use that n value right here, and recognize where in the c value whether you're going to move it forward or backwards, and how many spaces. And the most important thing is just make sure you fill those gaps with 0. Otherwise, you're going to have wacky numbers with spaces between the actual number and the decimal. From there, I think you'll kind of understand where to go, but take your time with it, and make sure you count your tens properly. Otherwise, you'll definitely get a number that's far off from what you should.